You can understand English perfectly well until someone actually speaks to you. Then suddenly, your brain quietly leaves the village. That happens to far more people than you think. Welcome back to Kelsy Village. Around here, we spend quite a lot of time talking in cafes, walking through the village, and sitting in old pubs discussing life over tea and occasionally beer. And one thing we often notice is this: many people learning English become nervous the moment conversation becomes real. Not because they're bad at English, usually because they care too much about getting everything right. The strange thing is, many visitors understand far more English than they think they do. They can read articles, watch videos, understand lessons. But then somebody says, "All right, mate, how's it going?" And internally, complete chaos begins. The brain starts searching grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, translation, survival strategies, all at the same time. Which is slightly unfortunate, because the conversation continues while this disaster is happening. A huge part of this problem is translation. Many people learning English still build sentences in their own language first, and then try to convert them into English. But real conversation moves too quickly for that. Native speakers do not usually translate. They react. Conversation is much better and much more like music than mathematics. It has rhythm, timing, emotion, instinct, and that instinct only develops through familiarity, not perfection. Another problem is this: real British conversation often sounds nothing like English lessons. Words disappear, sentences become shorter, everything joins together. For example, "Did you eat yet?" becomes "Did you yet?" "Are you all right?" becomes "You all right?" And in some British villages, people occasionally remove entire sections of the English language altogether. This can be alarming at first, but your ears gradually adapt. Something else important happens during nervous conversations. Fear reduces listening ability. The moment panic begins, the brain stops listening naturally. Instead, it starts monitoring itself. You stop hearing the conversation because internally you are thinking, "What tense do I need? What if I make a mistake? What if they don't understand me?" Meanwhile, the other person is simply wondering whether you'd like another cup of tea. Here is something important we often tell visitors to Kelsy. Conversation is not an exam. Native speakers are not waiting for perfection. Most people are simply trying to communicate warmly and naturally. In fact, many native speakers are quietly relieved when conversations remain simple and human, particularly after a long day. Confidence in English does not usually arrive before conversation. It arrives through conversation, often awkward conversation. sometimes uncomfortable conversation. Occasionally, very embarrassing conversation. But gradually, your brain stops treating English as danger and starts treating it as familiar human interaction. That's when fluency really begins. The goal is not becoming a perfect English speaker. The goal is feeling comfortable enough to be yourself, to laugh, to pause, to think, to speak imperfectly without fear. Because real conversation is not polished, it's human. And human conversation has always been a little untidy, particularly in pubs. Anyway, thank you for spending a little time with us here again in Kelsy. And if you'd like to continue improving your fluency, pronunciation, and confidence with us here in the village, feel free to subscribe. Until next time, take care.